Hey YouTube, right here. Watched a couple of videos from Angry MGTOW, and I wanted to go ahead and kind of make my own commentary on it. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to link the videos in the description. I'm also going to go ahead and put a card link for both of the videos at some point in this one. So if you want to go ahead and go take a look at those videos, you have two ways of finding your way to them. But I want to talk about kind of an ethical problem, and it's where ethics end up meeting the law. Where morality ends up meeting the law and the two clash. Now, I'm going to pose a question to you. This is more of a rhetorical question. You can feel free to go ahead and write a reply or whatever. But should you be held responsible for something negative that happens to someone else if you end up walking by it while it's happening? Should you be held responsible if you decide to not put your life in danger? Should you be held responsible for what happens to that person? Whether it be a person drowning. Now, some people are all like, well, then you just, grab them or throw something to them. Well, you're not always going to have something to throw to them. And here's another little kicker, and I'll go ahead and elaborate on this later. If you throw something to them and you hit them in the head and it knocks them out, well, guess what? You're guilty of murder. Yeah, you've got all that. If you swim out there, you're putting your life at risk. And ask anyone who's had to go ahead and do that sort of thing. Those people will literally try to push you underwater to get themselves up above water. They do not care about you at that point. They care about their own survival. They're panicked. They're in that basic fight or flight instinct, and they will go ahead and purposely sacrifice you to save themselves. This happens all the fucking time. So should you face jail time for that? Now, I say no. Because the thing is no one should be obligated to save someone else. Ever. Not unless they are like a doctor or a nurse or a paramedic, something like that. Something where you take that oath to do it. At that point, then yes, you have to. But at that point, you're also covered by Good Samaritan laws. If you are not licensed to do any of that stuff, like if you swim out there to rescue that person and you pull them back, and during that time frame, they're thrashing and so on and so forth, they end up snapping their own arm, trying to get away from you. Well, now you can be sued for that. Again, I'll elaborate on this later. So, should you be held responsible for that? Should you be able to go to jail? Some people think yes. And unfortunately, some of those people are judges. Now, here's the thing. If you are intoxicated and someone else is intoxicated, you did not force them to get intoxicated. They did so of their own free will. They go out and do something stupid. You don't want to be any fucking part of it. What do? You get up and you stumble away. It's just kind of what happens. Or hell, you might not even realize that something's wrong. So you get up and you fucking leave, and then when you sober up, you're all like, oh, what the fuck happened? But you're also not in a position to think clearly. So even if you do know that something's wrong, you might not have the capacity to react. I'm pretty sure a lot of you who have been watching my channel for a while know where I'm going with this. So, if you do not have the capacity to react because of intoxication, then why are you being held legally responsible? The reason why I'm phrasing it that way is because remember the whole yes means yes thing? Yeah, I'm bringing that up. You thought I wouldn't bring that up again. No, I'm going to be harping on that one for centuries. Even once I'm dead and gone, still, whatever spiritual plane I fucking go to, I'm still going to be fucking harping on that shit. But if you are not sober enough to give consent for sex, how in the hell are you going to be sober enough to launch a rescue action? Something that takes a lot more know-how. Sex is one of those things that just kind of comes naturally to us as organic things. You know, just as animals, you know. We can figure it out. Whereas rescuing someone, well, you might actually end up causing the problem to get much, much worse. Because lifeguards, tell people don't swim out there to try to save someone. Let us know and we will go out there. You want to know why? Because the thing is they don't want to have to save this other person and your dumbass. You just made the odds of both of you surviving much, much less. You just made the situation worse because you didn't know what the fuck you were doing. So, and that's even if you're fucking sober. So let's be honest here. You shouldn't be able to be held responsible for that. Because the thing is logic should be universally applied. Now, on to the whole people getting sued for trying to help and accidentally causing more damage. Well, me, I have my professional certification for CPR. So that means if I see someone that needs CPR, I am legally required to stop and perform CPR on them. But at the same time, as long as that's all that I'm doing, I am inside of my scope of practice. And that means, because that's the limitation of my training, I don't put in a fucking trach. I don't do advanced airway passage clearing. I don't sit there and fucking put in a tube into the side of their fucking chest. I don't do any of that shit. That is outside of the scope of practice. So if the person ends up dying because that wasn't performed, I am not going to be held responsible for it. Because of the Good Samaritan laws. Because I have not been trained in that. So why should someone else be held responsible for a situation that happens to someone else? Well, it's only if they're trained and legally obligated to react. That's the only fucking time. But we're not seeing that. Again, I point you to the videos from Angry MGTOW. Go through, watch them all the way through. He basically says the same fucking thing as me, but in a much more long-winded thing. I know that's kind of hard to believe. But here's the thing. He even mentions, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And he's right on that. Because even if you do something that saves a person's life, if you end up causing harm to them, you are then responsible for all of that harm caused. So if you pull someone from a fucking burning building, and, their leg ends up getting broken because, they were pinned under something, you didn't see that they were fully pinned, you pull and then pop, right? The bone either breaks or, something gets dislocated or something like that. But you still save their life, like they would have died otherwise. That person can then sue you for medical damages, for pain and suffering. So I want to ask you this. If you can be held legally responsible for not doing something, but you can also be sued for doing something, then is that combination of laws sitting there and saying that you are fully responsible for this person's well-being one way or another, even though you have no attachment to them. At that point, they're saying it is illegal for you to avoid getting sued. That's the times we fucking live in right now. So I just wanted to go ahead, make this video, throw it out there for you guys. Go ahead, comment on this. What do you fucking think? Do you think that this is absolute fucking horseshit? Do you think that this is something that needs to be addressed like yesterday? Or do you think that there's some logic to it? And if so, please go ahead, try to explain your fucking logic. Why should both of these things be true at the same fucking time? I want you to take me through it step by step as far as why. If you need to create a response video, please go ahead and do so. But the fact of the matter is at this point, I do not see how you can go ahead and justify someone having to open themselves up to a lawsuit to avoid jail time. I do not understand that. And if that's the case, if you're arguing that, then I want to ask you something. Why were there not more arrests during the Cologne rapes? Why were those men let go? I really want you to fucking explain that. Because even if they didn't actively rape, even if they were just obscuring view, even those, they knew what was happening. Aren't they under a legal obligation at that point to render aid to the woman that was being gang raped? Or women that were being gang raped? So at that point, there's no excuse for them having let them go. So yes, I am forcing you into a decision. Which of these things needs to fucking happen? I am putting you into a no-win scenario. You have to admit that something here was wrong, because not all of these things can remain true at the same time. And it's possible that all of them are wrong at the same time. So go ahead, give me your comments. Go ahead, those who want to go ahead and sit there and try to white knight on this, go ahead and try. But like I said in previous comment threads, in previous videos, do not sit there, just launch insults, and then not have anything to add to the fucking argument. I am telling you now, if you're going to comment on this and you're going to sit there and say that I'm wrong, prove it. Show me where I'm wrong. Don't point to the law, because the thing is that's being overridden. Like I said, go and watch Angry MGTOW's videos. You can't sit there and point, well, this is what the law says, because that's not how it is in practice. And these legal systems, they function off of, precedent. They don't function off of the black and white of the law. You know this. I know this. Anyone with half a fucking brain knows this. So don't try to bring that bullshit. Go ahead, respond. Hit the like, hit the dislike. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead and make video replies. I'm fine with it. But I honestly want to know what the fuck is going on here. Where is the even the slightest semblance of logic to this? Or are these things where people are so focused on the individual aspect that they're neglecting all of the links to other aspects? Is that what's going on here? Is it people getting tunnel vision? And if it is, why in the hell are we allowing them to have fucking tunnel vision? Why aren't we bringing this up to force them to look at those problems? Why are so many people staying silent on it? Why haven't these issues been getting massive fucking news coverage? When Donald Trump not releasing his fucking, tax returns and all that. For why in the hell did that get all the coverage while this shit's being ignored? Because the thing is Trump's tax returns affect him. Shit like this has the potential to affect all of us in a big, big way. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end it here. Have yourselves a nice day. Go ahead and comment. Actually, take part in the fucking conversation. I really do want to know what your thoughts are. I'll talk to y'all later.